Hey everyone, this is Rosador's Pokemon Shenanigans, and today we're headed back to the good old days of Gen 1, where Pokemon was played on a gray, indestructible brick known as the Game Boy, and these graphics are still some of my personal favorite. Speaking of fads that have long since died, we're running a Ghost today. The only Ghost line in Generation 1, Gastly. I'm pretty excited for this run, as I've always been a big fan of Gastly, Haunter, and Gengar, so a better way to show some love than by going through the game with a single Gastly. Now, I'm even more excited because being Ghost-type here in Yellow means that we're almost completely invincible for the beginning of the game. The only thing that can actually damage us is the optional rivals Spearow and Bide from Onix, and although it doesn't deal damage, we can be affected by Wild Pidgey and Pidgeotto's Sand Attack. But enough of hyping up this cool little dude, let's dive right into the base stat total. Our speed's decent, don't let the special defense fool you, because here in Gen 1, special is attack and defense combined, and we get to make use of that base 100 special attack in this run, so we're also fairly bulky from a special attack standpoint. So we're fast and we hit pretty hard with special attacks, but the rest of our stats leave a little to be desired, though we don't really need our physical stats. Well, that's not entirely true. Sensibilities don't exist in Generation 1, so we, unfortunately, can be hit by ground moves. I understand that in recent Pokemon, which I haven't played yet, that the Gastly line has Cursed Body instead of Levitate. That's almost a return to Gastly's original roots. So how about that sweet moveset? Well, we start with Nightshade, Lick, and Confuse Ray. Hypnosis is a move I'm really not a fan of, but we'll likely learn it anyway because Sleep in Generation 1 is extra powerful, because a Pokemon cannot attack on the turn it wakes up. The interesting thing about Nightshade is that, and all moves that deal set damage, such as Seismic Toss, ignore type immunity, so Nightshade can actually deal damage to normal types in this game as well as Red and Blue. But fear not, that's not all Gastly has access to. This is a pretty sweet getup of TMs here. Thunderbolt, Psychic, and we might even take Mega Drain so that we have the ability to heal in battle. I've always found it hilarious that Gastly can learn Self-Destruct and Explosion, because you cannot kill what's already dead, so contextually speaking, our Ghost protagonist should be able to detonate infinitely. But c'est la vie. An extra stipulation is that I'm going to see how far we can get by taking as few battles as possible. Now, this should be very easy early on, since there's very little that can hurt us. I figure that we're not in any serious danger until we get to Cerulean City. And to punctuate that point, let's watch the epic, groundbreaking 2v1 against Brock's team. In this game, Geodude only knows Tackle, which, in my opinion, makes it more dangerous normally than in Red and Blue because it is attacking every turn. But in this run, that's perfectly fine because Tackle cannot affect our ghostly protagonist, though funny enough, Onix's Bind does. Bide does as well, as it does ignore type immunity and thus is an actual threat if we spam Nightshade. But what's funny about Bind is that while it won't deal damage, if it hits, in giant air quotes you can't see, we will still be stun-locked from 2 to 5 turns. Good old Gen 1. But yeah, Brock, easy peasy, as expected. We'll head straight to Cerulean City, where we'll find our first proper challenge, in the form of Misty and perhaps the Cerulean rival. Since we're going minimum battles for as long as possible, the logical way to go is to battle the Cerulean rival. Gonna be way easier than Misty, especially here in Pokemon Yellow. The Cerulean rival is one of those rare battles that's actually way harder in Red and Blue, and definitely Fire Red and Leaf Green, let me tell ya. Because the Cerulean rival leads off with Spearow, and first turn he goes for Leer. Now, Pet can harm us, so that's pretty bad, but on the second turn he ends up going for Growl, and once we take out Spearow, well, guess what? We win. But Roz, why did you spoil the battle like that? Well, I hate to tell you that besides Sandshrew using Sand Attack, which yeah, can be annoying, nothing else on this team can damage us. Sandshrew does not yet have a ground move, Rattata can't hit us period, and he still has an Eevee with all normal moves, which also has Sand Attack, so that could be annoying. But we really cannot lose this fight unless we completely run out of power points. But even if we did run out of power points, we'd gain access to Struggle, and although Gen 1 Struggle has quite a bit of recoil, I do think we'd withstand it, so Cerulean rival, super easy. So we're going to battle all of the required trainers, make our way to Bill's house, come back, and battle Misty. Now, we do have to battle the Goldeen trainer, that is mandatory in Gen 1, not mandatory in Gen 3. But Misty's team, at least as far as I'm able to tell, isn't all that different from Red and Blue. The only thing that she seems to have here in Yellow is Harden on Starmie, which is going to be a wasted turn because we're just going to use Nightshade on her anyway. But both of her Pokemon can damage us, so let's see how this goes, shall we? Well, Staryu's already down, thanks Confuse Ray. We're at full health going into Starmie too, so that's pretty amazing. Bubble Beam drops our speed, not a big deal, we hit Confuse Ray. Turn 2, Mist uses X Defend, we go for Nightshade, deal 24 damage. Next up, Starmie hits us with Water Gun despite confusion, and we get in another Nightshade. She hits herself, and one more Nightshade, and she is Dunyan Rings. 2 badges, baby. Let's keep on going. Next up, Lieutenant Surge. No SSN rival. Yeah, it's the same team, except he has Eradicate. No difference. No point in showing that fight. And because Lieutenant Surge's AI is random, Mega Punch on turn 1, yeah, that really helped him out there. Confuse Ray, but Raichu breaks through confusion only to miss growling. How do you miss growling at somebody? Do you guys miss this? Urgh. And there's a paralysis off Thunderbolt. Alright, I deserved that one. Surge follows up with the Mega Punch, a well-placed move. Like, you guys are seeing this, right? We should have lost this fight like 10 times over by now. Why go for your same type Thunderbolt when you could try punching and kicking Ghost? This isn't Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Raichu does not have Journeyman in hand-to-hand, okay? Dude, I can't believe we won. I can't believe we won that fight on the first try. Are you kidding me? Anyway, next up is Giovanni. He does have a Persian in place of Kangaskhan, and I'm going to talk over this fight too, because only Onix can damage us, therefore Onix is the biggest threat in this fight. Yes, you heard that correctly. With that 65 accuracy, 50 base power rock throw. Oh, yeah, that was scary. I'm not being coy or cheeky here. Like, this is playing as Gastly up until this point because, you know, you can't blame Game Freak for it because they never intended you to have a Gastly as early as we had it, so it kind of breaks the early game, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, we're about to fight Erica. She can't really do anything to us either. I'm gonna talk over this one as well. But I will tell you that this run is about to get way more difficult, because around the time we fight Erica, we should have a Gastly from Lavender Tower, right? And not only that, but Koga, Sabrina, and Blaine's levels and teams have jumped way up, although Sabrina's team is higher. I think that her team in Red and Blue is better, even with that weirdly misplaced Venomoth. Because Game Freak didn't think to give Abra Psychic when it can learn it via TM, but hey, they're the experts here, not me. And in my defense, I mean, it's Erica. When has Erica ever been difficult for anything that's not Magikarp or something? And to punctuate that point, we're gonna go to Koga's gym and battle the trainers, not Koga himself. We want to stay far away from him for the time being. Because Koga, the poison trainer, has a gym littered with Psychic-type trainers. Yeah, he's got a couple of tamers in there with Arbok and Sandshrew/Sandslash, but, I mean, the real threats here are the Psychic types because Gastly is part poison, thus is weak to Psychic moves. We get rocked here pretty hard, and it really is a sign of things to come, because we can either go for Koga, no thanks, his team also has Psychic moves, not the same type, but Venonat and Venomoth do have super effective moves against us, so we're going to avoid that for the time being. Or we can go for the Silphco rival, whose team is, I think a little bit better in Pokemon Yellow, because Sandslash, in my opinion, is better than Pidgeot. His Magneton has Thunder Wave, which is very annoying, and his Eevee has finally hit its evolution. But Silphco rivals levels are lower, so I think that's the play heading over there, so let's get to it, shall we? And now you'll notice that I skipped over Rival for it. Yeah, I did that on purpose because, again, besides Fearow, nothing there stands a chance against us, so here at Silphco, completely different story. He leads off with Sandslash, and we get him to hit himself in confusion. Very good. It does not yet have a ground move, but does have Sand Attack. We absolutely do not want to get hit by that. But as Sandslash goes down, check this out. We have pretty good special, but Thunderbolt does not KO Cloyster. Cloyster uses Withdraw, but you can really see how our firepower is really starting to lag behind. As Magneton comes out, we go for Confuse Ray. Thankfully, it hits itself. He's got Thunder Wave. We really don't want to see that. And you know what? Just for good measure, we'll go for Hypnosis. Coin Flip Luck lands in our favor. Always pick Tails, by the way. We go for Psychic, get a special drop. 30% chance in Gen 1. Psychic, he wakes up. We'll switch to Thunderbolt to conserve power points. Next out is his Kadabra, and I meant to go for Hypnosis. This Psychic was a misclick. Doesn't matter, though, because Psybeam one-shots us because it's a critical hit. Well, that was cool. So, after about 40 minutes of real-life time, no joke, of trying this fight, because Hypnosis, again, 60 accuracy, it's going to miss. Sometimes it likes to miss in spades. Oh, and I do want to correct myself. Magneton in this fight has Thunder Shock, not Thunder Wave. But boy, did it really feel like it had Thunder Wave in this fight, because I got paralyzed off of Thunder Shock constantly during this fight. Oh, and Cloyster using Clamp quite a lot and critting us, because Cloyster, despite how it looks, has pretty good base speed. But again, it's right around this point where Gastly really starts to fall behind, and if we want to stick to minimum battles going forward, you just gotta grind out the attempts, and eventually, with good old RNGesus on your side, you'll get an attempt like this. Now, I've learned that it's best to just go for Hypnosis straight away. We do hit, and we go for Confuse Ray to keep it confused when it wakes up. We spam Psychic, get a crit, so it's a 2-shot, very nice. Out comes Cloyster, we do 1-shot it, though with our Gastly's DVs, that's a very low range. Against Magneton, we go for Confuse Ray because of the 100 accuracy, with a little asterisk because 1 in 256 glitch, am I right? We land Hypnosis, very good. Now, as we go for Psychic, Magneton does wake up, however, once again, RNGesus blesses us, hits itself in confusion. We put it back to sleep with Hypnosis, but turns out we didn't have to because of that critical Psychic. Where was this, like 20 minutes ago? Now, as Kadabra comes out, it is faster, as you guys know. We do tank a single Psybeam, very good, and we do hit Hypnosis. Confuse Ray, sorry, there's the Hypnosis hit, heck yeah. And we're just gonna spam Thunderbolt and hope that Kadabra stays asleep for as long as possible. Thankfully, that does happen. As Flareon, best evolution by the way, comes out, we hit it with Confuse Ray, and it does miss Fire Spin, very good. We go for Hypnosis, get that sweet coin flip luck, and we're going to use Psychic as our main attack in hopes of getting a special drop, which we do get here, very good. And we end the fight with a crit. 40 real-life minutes later, we beat this fight. Oh, I'm loving this, man. We're still on minimum battles. Love to see it. Now, we have a bit of breathing room for the time being because we're battling Silphco Giovanni, who is very easy for our Gastly. Because besides Nidorino having Poison Sting, and I think Nidoqueen does as well, there's nothing on this team that can hurt us. But don't you worry, Giovanni's team in yellow when we fight him in Viridian City Gym is way better than it is in Pokemon Red and Blue, and I would go as far as to say it's way better than it is in Fire Red and Leaf Green as well. So enjoy this absolutely free fight against Giovanni while you can, because, well, just wait till we get to him a little bit later. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that Gastly has so far been able to stick to minimum battles, and because we are allowed to go out of order as far as plot progression, it's entirely possible. Going to Koga's gym to battle the trainers there before the Silphco rival, absolutely the play. We gotta relish in every last point of experience we can get because, well, once things start to really ramp up, I mean, don't forget, now we have access to Sabrina should we choose to fight her. Oh boy, but we're gonna go to Koga first and see how we measure up. And now in yellow, he leads up with a Venomoth with a pretty good moveset, but the moveset doesn't mean much when we one-shot it with Psychic. Out comes the second Venonat, down goes the second Venonat. I'd say 3 strikes shot, absolutely true for that third Venonat. Now next up is his level 50 Venomoth, obviously is faster. We actually survive Psychic and we hit it with Confuse Ray. Koga goes for X attack, coin flip luck, called tails again, Venomoth's asleep. Psychic, it stays asleep, Psychic stays asleep, special drop doesn't matter now because it is a case of Dunyan Rings, thank goodness I ordered one of those earlier. And in case you want a punctuation on minimum battles, we are under 3 hours by the time we get to Blaine, oh yeah. But this is going to be pretty darn difficult, I must say. Well, leading off with Ninetales is bad enough for us. Now obviously Ninetales is faster and hits us with Confuse Ray. Thankfully, Blaine does not capitalize on that because although his team is better, he still has Gen 1 random AI. And we finally do hit him with Hypnosis, that's huge. Oh wait, hold on, there we go, there's the Hypnosis hit. We go for Psychic, get the special drop, very nice. We go for Thunderbolt, hoping for the Paralysis chance, no dice. Ninetales hits us with Confuse Ray, doesn't matter, it goes down, heck yeah. Now as Rapidash comes out, we do hit ourselves, not only that, but we get trapped in Fire Spin for 2 turns. That's very unfortunate, but we do end up hitting him with Confuse Ray. And you guys know by now that, well, hitting yourself in confusion is great if you're the enemy, but we're gonna go for Hypnosis, and we do hit on the first attempt, awesome. After using Psychic, I'm thinking, alright, we're going to save Psychic for Arcanine because I want the special drops when he comes out. A Thunderbolt does a good enough job taking out Rapidash. Last is Arcanine, who is way faster and easily finishes us off with Flamethrower. So as you can see, very much an uphill battle here, but I think victory is right around the corner. And I love that because Gastly is very underleveled for this fight, and he's still managing to kick some serious butt. However, if RNGesus would bless us once again, I think that we can break through this fight and maintain minimum battles. Just a reminder that Blaine's AI is completely randomized, which seems kind of silly, and it is, but it's great for us because that means we can maintain our course with minimum battles. Case in point here, leading off with Ninetales as usual, he goes for Quick Attack, although he's faster. Very nice. He gets himself in Confusion, and we put him to sleep on the first Hypnosis. Loving this start. Now, as we're laying in the Psychics, Ninetales does wake up, but hits itself in Confusion. We finish it off with Thunderbolt. And as Rapidash comes out, Blaine's Rapidash goes for Takedown. I can see why he's the 7th gym leader. Don't worry, he kicks our butts plenty in my Gen 3 runs. Now, we get hit by a Growl. Not a big deal. We don't have any physical attacks. I end up going for Psychic, hoping for that special drop, but no dice. And again, to conserve Psychic power points for Arcanine, we're going to switch over to Thunderbolt. A couple Thunderbolts take down Rapidash. We're at full health for Blaine's Ace. Much like Rapidash, he goes for a takedown when he has Fire Blast. We slap on Confuse Ray. We end up going for Hypnosis, put Arcanine to sleep. Once he's a snooze, then we're going for Psychic, hoping for the special drop. We get it on the second Psychic. Very good. Still asleep, not that it matters, because he can attack on the turn he wakes up. Look at that. We are still on minimum battles with 6 badges. Oh, don't worry, I didn't skip Sabrina. Here she is. Now, what makes this fight so annoying is that the Abra that she leads off with has Flash and Teleport. Again, no Psychic, because although Abra can learn Psychic via TM, Game Freak apparently decided not to give it Psychic, because why lead off with a damaging Pokemon, right? But for a solo challenge like this, that's pretty darn annoying, especially when we want to put it to sleep with Hypnosis and start laying in with Thunderbolts, right? And the reason why I reset when Flash hits us is Flash is like Sand Attack, but Flash itself has 70 accuracy, so we can't hope for a miss. Sabrina will also spontaneously use Next Defend, which is a bit of a downgrade from Red and Blue, where she had a Hyper Potion. But the point is if our accuracy is dropped even by 1 stage, it's really not worth continuing because we have to fight a Kadabra and an Alakazam at level 50. And the Alakazam is definitely going to be faster than we are and can probably one-shot us from full health with Psychic. That said, both members of her team have Psywave, which although it is a Psychic-type move, in Generation 1, because there is no immunity to Psychic, it doesn't take typing into consideration, so it always does random damage from 1, or actually 0 in Generation 1, to 1 point times the Pokemon's level. So that's 0 to 65, and it does have 85 accuracy. It can miss. That's what we want to see from Kadabra and Alakazam. Should we get to either of them, all we have to do is get Abra to either miss Flash, or have Sabrina use X Defend on it, hit Confuse Ray, have it hit itself, and put it to sleep so we can make some actual progress in this fight. So we're going to go Rapid Fire Speed Up past these next failed attempts here. And yeah, I do reset when we get hit by Flash. I mean, that is a failed attempt because I reset, but you know what I mean. I am pretty confident that if we at least get by Abra, that we have a fighting chance thanks to the combo of Sleep and Confusion. I do like that we are just over 3 hours as we're fighting Sabrina, so we're on awesome pacing for our minimum battles, possible minimum battles run. Haven't broken it yet, let's see if we will here. As we go ahead, reload, all that good stuff, get ready for this attempt right here against Miss Sabrina. And in this attempt right here, X Defend, we go for Confuse Ray, awesome, good start. Turn number 2, Abra is confused, it hits itself. And we put it to sleep. Yo, let's go. We're gonna mash Thunderbolt here because her whole team resists Psychic. Again, no Venomoth for her team in this game. And in typical Gen 1 fashion, recover at full health when we slap on Confuse Ray. There's her second X Defend. There's our Hypnosis hit. Now, it does wake up early and goes for Kinesis. Thank the heavens it misses as we take it out. We have full health for Alakazam. Let's hope we can tank a Psychic. Or Reflect is cool for all 0 of our physical attacks. I decide to forego Hypnosis, just laying on the Thunderbolts. Thankfully, Alakazam is hitting itself in Confusion. And that stays the course here. Hits itself, Thunderbolt, down it goes. We're still on minimum battles. I am loving this, man. But hey, we have 7 badges. Next up is Giovanni. Now, if this were Pokemon Red and Blue, I would be very confident in this fight, but it's not. It's Pokemon Yellow. His team is way better here in this game. And, well, to punctuate that point, he leads off with a level 50 Dugtrio, almost definitely faster than us. Yeah, it's totally gonna be faster than us. Who am I kidding? And now on turn 1, it does go for Fissure, and thankfully it misses. It only works if it's faster than us, which it is. Next up, Giovanni goes for a Guard Spec. We go for Psychic. Deal about half damage. Pretty good. Dugtrio is confused, and it goes for Earthquake, and we are one-shot by it. Again, Levitate does not exist in this game. And I was not lying before when I said Giovanni gets his revenge. We're gonna watch a bunch of failed attempts against Giovanni here, and that's not me resetting like when I got hit by Flash against Sabrina's Aber. Oh no. Dugtrio lays an absolute beatdown upon us. If we have any hope of getting through his first Pokemon, he either has to go for Guard Spec, which is a wasted turn because we have no status-lowering moves. He has to miss Fissure, that's a 70% chance. He has to go for Sand Attack and miss, which in Generations 1 and 2 is a 25% chance, but only when the AI uses it, which is an interesting little quirk. Or we have to hope for a 1 in 256 miss from Dig and Earthquake, which, I mean, if that happens, I'm gonna go buy a scratch-off ticket, because I'm pretty sure I'll play a scratch-off ticket and win a couple $100 before I get a Generation 1 miss. Well, at least a Generation 1 miss in my favor, because when I do these runs, I get Gen 1 misses. It seems like they're just handing them out like Super Saiyan. It's a Super Saiyan bargain sale. Yeah, it's a Gen 1 miss bargain sale when I do these challenges, and I'm sure other people who make Generation 1 Pokemon challenges can agree to that, because that seems to happen a lot more to the player than it does to the AI. But I digress. I did break minimum battles. Turn 1, Fissure miss. We miss with Hypnosis, but we hit on the second turn thanks to Guard Spec. Psychic Special Drop. Psychic takes out Dugtrio. Very good. Persian literally can't hurt us, so we're just gonna Thunderbolt it down. We go for Hypnosis against Nidoqueen. It hits, he goes for Guard Spec, and after 2 shots of Psychic, down goes Nidoqueen. And because Guard Spec worked so well the first time, he uses it on Nidoking, and it goes down to 2 Psychics. Now we're just gonna make sure that Rhydon stays asleep, and we should be good. Wakes up immediately, but we put it back to sleep, and yeah, that's GG. That took me about 50 minutes in real time because of all the Hypnosis misses. Everything besides Persian has same type Earthquake, and we got one shot by that quite a bit. Battling our rival before Victory Road here, we start off great with a critical Psychic to one-shot Sandslash. Next up is Execute, we put it to sleep, get a special drop with Psychic, and finish it off with a follow-up Thunderbolt. Cloyster is a one-shot with Thunderbolt. Out comes Magneton, and we eat a Thunder Shock for missing Hypnosis, but we do hit with the second one. We go for Psychic twice as it stays asleep, switch to Thunderbolt to conserve power points. Kadabra goes for Reflect as we miss Hypnosis, really capitalizing on that opportunity. So we should have gotten destroyed there, but we didn't. Good old Gen 1 AI. Flareon misses Fire Spin, brings us to 50 with Flamethrower, but we're able to overpower it with the good old Thunderbolt. This fight took 3 tries due to abysmal Hypnosis missing luck. Now, as we make our way to the Elite Four, I'm feeling pretty darn confident about this, at least for a bit. Lorelei and Bruno are going to be pretty darn easy in my opinion. Agatha could go either way because we're technically super effective against each other just going off of typing. Lance's team, very different. That's not the auto-win that it is in Red and Blue. And the champion, if Sandslash is faster, we auto-lose. But let's get into Lorelei, shall we? We start off real strong with a critical Thunderbolt to one-shot Dugong. Next up is Cloyster, but it cannot withstand a single Thunderbolt. Now we're going to put Slowbro to sleep. It does have Psychic. Thankfully we hit on the first try of Hypnosis. Thunderbolt doesn't one-shot it, but she uses a Super Potion. Doesn't really matter. Thunderbolt seals the deal. As Jinx comes out, gonna put it to sleep. Do not want to get hit and frozen by Ice Punch. A Thunderbolt deals over a third. Gonna switch to Psychic so she doesn't heal. Jinx wakes up, but it's too little too late. Thunderbolt takes it down. Against Lapras, we miss Hypnosis and get hit by Confuse Ray. Thankfully, we don't hit ourselves. This Hypnosis does put it to sleep. As it stays asleep, we go for Thunderbolt. Deals about half, so the second one should take it out. We snap out of Confusion as we finish it off. How cool is that? Okay, so Bruno is completely free because the Hitmons have terrible special in this game, so let's talk about Agatha. After this fight, we're going to replace Confuse Ray with Mimic. Confuse Ray's been very useful this run, but we're going to need Mimic for the last 2 fights, almost for sure. One of the Dragonair has Ice Beam, so if we can Mimic that, we can just straight up obliterate Lance, and Mimic, I think, will be very useful against the champion, but for now, let's fight Agatha, shall we? Mimic will be useful here as well, because Gengar 1 has Substitute, which we absolutely are going to Mimic and use ourselves. Well, never mind, we mimicked Supersonic because she switched out. Wait, what? Where did Golbat go? I thought we mimicked Supersonic. Where did my Hypnosis go? Well, at least we can mimic Substitute again. We have a chance to, and we do. Unfortunately, as we do so, we get hit by Confuse Ray and hit ourselves. We get hit by a weak Mega Drain as we break out of Confusion and use Substitute. Gengar does the same, and as I'm trying to pick out our moves here, I'm like, you know, let's go for Raw Power here. We can break that Substitute with a single Psychic, and we do. Next turn is more of the same Substitute. We go for Psychic, it breaks, it goes for Mega Drain, deals very little damage to us. Critical Psychic takes it down. We go for Psychic against Haunter, don't take it out. We get the special drop, she goes for a Super Potion, so we can finish off Haunter very easily. As Zarbot comes out, we go for Thunderbolt, and it goes for Wrap. And remember earlier when I talked about Onyx's Bind being able to stun lock? Yeah, same for Wrap. We didn't take any damage, though, so it's kinda whatever. It's pretty funny, in my opinion. Gengar 2 outspeeds us, destroys our Substitute with Psychic. We crit with Psychic, she goes with a Super Potion, and we land the finishing blow. Oh yeah. Turns out learning Mimic was quite useful for this fight, and it will be for Lance for reasons already explained, but we have to get to that Dragonair before we can start bragging about how awesome Mimic was for that particular fight. Now, mimicking Ice Beam is going to be easier said than done. Yeah, we can certainly one-shot Gyarados with Thunderbolt, very confident about that, but we had to put the Ice Beam Dragonair to sleep before we mimic Ice Beam. 60% chance, so yeah, I'm sure this is going to go fantastic. So as we get ready to battle Lance, he sends out his trusty Gyarados. Well, not trusty this time. One Thunderbolt. Get out of here, son. As the first Dragonair comes out, we go for Hypnosis, and we do miss. We get punished by Thunder Wave, and this is looking pretty bad. We get crit by Thunderbolt as we miss Hypnosis. We miss again. Fully paralyzed. Finally, we put it to sleep. And here I'm laying it with Psychic because I want to test out our damage. Yeah, there's no way we're winning this fight now. So Dragonair is a two-shot with Psychic, and there's the Ice Beam Dragonair, the one that we wanted. A real darn shame that our first attempt against the Elite Four went this way, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. We will have to hit Hypnosis on the first Dragonair because Thunder Wave immediately ends that fight. Now, those of you who have been with the channel for a while are familiar with the invasive species rules where no saving is optional criteria. I wanted to try it here with Gastly just to see how well we do, and we did pretty darn good, I must say. We had good luck against Lorelei despite getting hit by Lapras's Confuse Ray, so it kinda makes sense that the luck is offset when we fight Lance's Dragonair and we just keep getting crushed by critical hit, losing a turn to paralysis, you know, just part of the game. So far, the hardest fight in this challenge by far has been Viridian City's gym with Giovanni. Keyword being so far. And what's really awesome is that Lorelei, Bruno, and Agatha are all pretty darn easy with the strategies we have going forward with, which with Lorelei we have to get a little bit lucky. Hypnosis has to at least hit Lapras. Bruno, we just mash A until the battle ends. It's very complex strategy. And because Agatha's second Gengar has Psychic, Substitute absolutely makes the difference there. Now, Agatha does not have quote-unquote smart AI, lest Gengar number 1 would just keep spamming Lick on us, which would actually be pretty bad because Lick has a chance to paralyze, and it is super effective against us. But thankfully none of that. Also, still don't know why I got Supersonic and was able to mimic Substitute again. If you have the answer to that, feel free to let me know in the comments because I have absolutely no idea. I didn't question it though because it is Generation 1 and this game is held together by String, Love, and Hope. We'll save right in front of Lance and take out Gyarados with Thunderbolt. Lance's Gyarados in Gen 1 is pretty darn scary. This time Hypnosis hits Dragonair number 1, so after a couple of Psychics, yeah, it goes down. Looking good. Against Dragonair 2, we missed Hypnosis and it misses Ice Beam. That's a Gen 1 miss in our favor. We put it to sleep, stays asleep. Time to mimic Ice Beam. I love Gen 1 Mimic. And because we have a super effective move against Lance's entire team, down goes Dragonair. Aerodactyl is faster, punishes us with a critical wing attack, which we survive with 15 health as we take it down with Ice Beam. And we are faster than Lance's ace, Dragonite. Double weak to Ice Beam, yeah, it's done. Now, we have to fight the champion, and if a Sand Slash is faster than we are, then, well, we're in a bit of trouble here, and we'll have to go back and level up. All that good stuff, I guess. We broke minimum battles at Giovanni, so it's whatever at this point, but hey, Now, if we are faster than the champion Sandslash, well, it's all up to Hypnosis luck from here, so let's give it a shot. Well, good news, we are faster, and we put it to sleep with Hypnosis turn 1. Very good. We'll just lay in with Psychic while Sandslash snoozes. Well, don't worry, buddy, you're about to have a permanent rest once you get sent back to your Pokeball there. Well, out comes Alakazam. It's definitely going to be faster than us. It goes for Psychic. Oh my god, 5 health! Oh, good thing we have Hypnosis and Mimic so we can still recover and heal ourselves. Okay, we're gonna heal up with Recover, get to 68 health. It's still the same. Alright, we're not wasting any time. We're putting down Alakazam right here, right now. That crit definitely sped things along, but not liking that damage we were dealing. Next up is Executor, and we'll put it to sleep. Thankfully, Hypnosis hits turn 1, and then we'll go ahead and heal up with Recover. Unfortunately, our damaging moves, Thunderbolt and Psychic, are both resisted by Executor, so we're gonna have to get kinda lucky here. What we really want to see here is a special drop from Psychic, and doesn't seem like we're having much luck with that, though he is staying asleep for a bit. Although here, he does wake up, Hypnosis does hit again, thankfully, having pretty good luck with that so far. We just have to hope that the champion does not use a full restore here, because if he does, that's really going to whittle down our power points, and we might not have enough for the rest of the fight. Thankfully, he doesn't seem to catch on to that. Out comes Magneton, we're gonna go for Hypnosis, it hits again. We're having really good luck with Hypnosis, love that. Psychic deals, well, thankfully it's not Steel type in this game, that would have dealt way less. It stays asleep, critical Psychic, down it goes. Next up is his Cloyster, we're faster, and Thunderbolt, one shot, all it takes. And I think we're good to go, because Flareon's smart AI will have him spam Reflect because it's a Psychic move, which is super effective against Poison, although it doesn't deal damage. Yeah, I gotta say, a bit of an anticlimactic finale here, but again, we were on minimum battles at the time, otherwise we would have fought Jolteon, which I think would have been just as easy, because I would have just gone for Pin Missile. Would have crit us a fair bit because of its high critical hit ratio, but hey, doesn't really matter. Truth is, Gastly is great against all 3 of the evolutions in this game. And I gotta say, that was a pretty fun run, and although we did level up off of Flareon, in my challenge videos, I do not take the final level into consideration if we level up off of the final Pokemon, because the final level up off the final Pokemon has absolutely no bearing on the run, because the run's already over. I gotta say, I love that 4:43 time on Gastly, too. I really hope you guys enjoyed that run. For me, it was a fun little experiment to try out minimum battles, at least having it as optional criteria. If you guys are interested, I might try Gastly on minimum battles sometime in the future. But until then, this has been Razador's Pokemon Shenanigans. Take it easy, guys.